Hello. Let me make. Oh, I don't have my ring lights. We're gonna have to deal with bad lighting. Um, okay, that's fine. I'm gonna be doing a little Q&A thing because I have like a tiny bit of free time here before class. Again, sorry about the horrible lighting. I'm gonna move over here so the glare isn't horrible. Um, but hello, you two. How are you? And also anybody else who may be watching now or even afterward. Um, I'm just going to be answering some questions, mostly about my, I guess, main project of this year, which is the Monster Mangrove, which is my singing monsters thing I'm doing. But yeah, I'm gonna start off with a general question. There's only one I got for that, and it's how did my name come to be? And oh, my YouTube name. I didn't realize me rotating was causing the glare to come back. Okay, I'm in a spinning chair if you're wondering. But anyway, um, how did my YouTube channel name come to be? So, Sparky was a childhood nickname because, I don't know, I guess I like dogs. Um, and then dogs comes from dogs being like one of my favorite animals, and 6 is my favorite number. So I just put that together, honestly. It's not really that interesting of a story, but. And then the rest are just my singing monster project related questions. Oh my gosh, hi Bessie, oh my gosh, hi. I wasn't expecting to see you here. Hello. Um, so what was my initial inspiration for the Monster Mangrove? And that would be two things when it comes. I'm gonna say about like design and then um hello. Okay. That was slightly I read that very aggressively. I don't know why. I thought it was a FNAF reference. Nope. I just happened to become a FNAF fan. Um but like the design was inspired by the concept island that Big Blue Bubble made. Um uh can you be more specific, Riff Rocker? What do you mean? Um but then the actual island itself, I figured there's Continent and Gold Island, but neither actually have all of the monsters. And I've been wanting an island for like ever that has every single like unique sounding monster on it. So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna do it myself. And then I did last year, and it's still being posted. There's still some monsters that I haven't finished making the sounds for, but I'll get to that. Um, Update 11 when? So I that's one I have to look now to see. That would be the next update. Yes, yes. Okay. Sounds for that coming November 10th, and the full update's coming November 13th. Oh yeah, of course. Um, okay, what else is there? Will the artificial magicals be coming? If you don't know, artificial magicals are a fan-made monster class I made. But no, they will not. No fan-made monsters will be coming besides possibly a fan-made epic box. Um, and I say fan-made epic box because it would be different, like it'd have a different design. And I don't know how the sound's gonna work for each island, so I'm waiting to make that sound. Um, Once again, more on that in a bit. And then this sort of ties into that same question, will you add fan-made monsters? And I just said no. So, no fan-made monsters to the Monster Mangrove, only the unique sounding official ones. And will rares make a unique sound? Like how there are some rares on the Composer app that make different sounds than um, the common versions? And the answer to that one is also no. um, The only rare monster that makes a unique sound compared to its common counterpart is Wubbox. So I'm only going to have Wubbox and Epic Wubbox like work to make separate sounds. I didn't mean to word it like that, but whatever. Um, would monsters like variants, such as rares, epics, costumes, and prismatics be there if it were a real island? I imagine you'd be able to place monsters with any costume, any variant, assuming that's available in either game. Um, with the exception of probably prismatics, because I imagine it in the My Singing Monsters style, and I don't think it would be great to have to draw the prismatics in the My Singing Monsters 1 style. So basically, anything like any variants from the first game, I could see being there. Which would mean that there would be rares of monsters that aren't even in the first game. But that's, I don't know, that's sort of a very hypothetical situation. Um, but when it comes to actually adding them to the image, I'm only going to be adding the ones that make unique sounds. Um, Sparky, would you be able to make more Wordos with Vanden? Um, I hope to be featured on Vanden's channel again sometime. And I have plans to feature Vanden on my channel as well. Thank you for the question, Riffrocker. Um, wouldn't waking up Wublins, Wubboxes, and Celestials be a nightmare on this island? Um, I could definitely see where you would get that, especially with the Wubbox and Rare Wubbox. Even worse, Epic Wubbox, now that that's out. Um, but no. You don't actually have to wake them up, I'd imagine, if this were a real island. I imagine just once they appear in the Book of Monsters, that you'd be able to just place them down and they'd automatically be woken up. Oh goodness, yeah. There'd be no way to get every single variant of monster on the island if prismatics would be included. To be fair, even just common would not quite work. Is it breeding or teleporting? It's it's like teleporting, but it's not the same way teleporting works in My Singing Monsters. Instead of having to level up monsters and having them either be on both islands or be teleported from one island to the other, um, it's going to be completely based on the Book of Monsters. And unlock, once you unlock a monster or place down a monster, basically once it appears that you've like bred the monster or placed down the monster, is what I'm trying to say. In either game, it will be able to be placed in the Monster Mangrove, which means you'll only be able to get one of each monster. Um, and I imagine you'd be able to throw on costumes if you wanted to, but um, and rares, epics, those I imagine would also be able to be placed down, considering they're considered separate in the Book of Monsters. However, like I said, prismatics would require a lot of graphics, so I don't think, or a lot of new graphics rather, so I don't think that would be a thing. Um, However, like Rare Candelabra, even though not possible in My Singing Monsters 1, that would be a thing there. Um, but basically, no. It's not a breeding island. That was actually the next question as well. So thank you, Vinny. Um, but um, it's not a breeding island. It's sort of a mark your progress on the game type island, I guess. Um, and the Wubboxes, Wublin Celestials automatically woken up. And the Celestials would be the designs from Dawn of Fire, but in the My Singing Monster style, if that makes sense. Um, what are the mechanics of the island? I just went over that one, so. When will Jamboree and Epic Wubbox be coming? And that also includes any monsters that haven't come out yet that make unique sounds. Um, basically, any monster after Magical Sanctum that came out will be included in an update coming, I believe. I think it's October of next year. It's either October or September. I said that backwards. It's either September or October. So I'm not entirely sure which one, but it'll be one of the two. I don't have my schedule book right next to me to write that down. Um, I didn't want to do an update that just had one monster or two monsters added and that's it. I like to add a whole group at once next year. Yeah, I know it's gonna be a long wait, but it's just how it's gonna have to be. I'm gonna have to design a new candle for Jamboree actually, now that I think about it, because I'd like to not have it have the wrong day or like number, sorry, not day. I like how I said day and it's measuring years. That's how that works. But yeah, update 14 will be next year, as well as update 13 will also be next year, but update 14 will be like later in the year. And that'll add Epic Wubbox and Jamboree. So I'm not gonna be working on that for a while. Um, besides, okay, I'm gonna reword that. Every monster up until the Magical Sanctum, which I mean, including the Magical Sanctum monsters even, are already finished. And I went back and fixed up some of the older monsters that didn't sound great, even some of the newer monsters that didn't sound great. Um, and there were a few collaborations involved there. Someone asked if I did the island like completely by myself, and the answer is yes, up until update 13, in which there are a few guest vocalists. And those vocalists include, I think it's MSM Joseph. I hope that's the right username. It's either MSM Joseph or Joseph MSM. I don't quite remember which, so I kind of feel bad about that. But and then there's Sophie Strawberry, um, Raw Zebra, and Vinster Minster, who did a few guest vocals for me. So I appreciate that. Cough, cough, Tweedle, Plixie, Ma. Yes, Minster voiced Tweedle, Plixie, Ma. Um, Raw voiced Theramind and Cantorell. Um, Sophie voiced Kana, and Joey voiced Boscus. So I appreciate all of that. I appreciate those who offered to do things for me, and also those who like were able to do vocals for me. If anyone has any other questions, I'm good for another like 7 minutes, I guess. Um, this isn't a question. Nobody asked about this, but I did do some rescheduling. I mentioned it in a previous stream, but also I need to update a playlist while I'm here. Um, let me. Okay, playlists. Yes. Okay. Where is the Sparky's music playlist? Scroll down. Okay. Sparky's music. Is there a stuff I'm proud of playlist? There is. Okay. Is there any other questions in chat, or are we good? All right, let me remove that. Remove that. I have not unlisted. I have privated. You don't know me, and but I do. So no more of those because I don't like them. The instrumentals are eh. The vocals are horrible. I might remake them someday and have them be not as horrible. But as of now, I'm taking them down. Serene Cradle, Cantor, all my beloved. Yeah, I agree. be fair, all the Serene Cradle things are really cool. Or sounds and animations. Raw's game completely, just like in general, is super cool. Um, okay, class in 10 minutes. I'm gonna look at my community post where I was asking for questions just so I can, like, there's some questions that I want to address that nobody exactly asked, but there's some stuff I'd like to talk about updates of. Um, nope, not playlists, community. I like how that said new, share up to 5 images, even though that's been here for like ever. The new thing is video. You couldn't add videos here before. But I don't, I think Google made a mistake. Or YouTube, or whoever you want to say. Love that. And thank you, Vinny. Okay. So I'm going to talk about, like, briefly about some things that are on my channel. Um, so the Artificial Magical Islands are my most popular, that's my most popular series. It's probably one of my favorite series I've done so far. Um, though I think that's gonna change next year. Um, and I plan to revamp the series. There's been an announcement trailer for it, but I've only really redesigned one monster, and that's kinda it. I have the new element symbols. I have to plan out the monster combinations because there's some changes I'd like to make to um, what elements are for what monsters, and there's a whole new element. Sorry, I'm rotating on my chair and I bumped the wall and it screeched. um, Seasonal Islands. That was my first series I've done for my on about my singing monsters on my channel. Um, and one second. Whoa. Sorry, Vince Master just showed me something really cool. Go subscribe to, like, pretty much everyone I collabed with because they're all really cool. And Vince Minster, for example, does really cool My Singing Monsters edits and designs, and they're just so cool, you know? And also Raw Zebra has a whole game. Um, MSM Chronicles also working on a game, I think. I don't think his game was canceled, but either way, super cool. Um, like, go sub to everyone, really. Um, um, it turned out really well, though, honestly. The island that you drew came out amazingly. It, I, I don't think there's something that you can't do, Vinny. Oh my gosh, like, anyway, okay. So, I'd also right, Seasonal Islands. That was my first series I've done. It's very outdated. I knew pretty much nothing about music. I also knew nothing about music when making the Artificial Magical Islands, but still, I knew even less about when I was doing the Seasonal Islands because that was like the first music thing I'd ever done. Um, Pardon? Wait, I'm confused. What's happening? Um, I don't quite love the Seasonal Islands, but they were a good start for my channel. I'll say that. Um, Wordos, the ones from the seasonal islands are all outdated. Scarrick ended up making a return. But there's gonna be a new Wordo, kinda similar to Valentine in design, but it wasn't the most intentional, honestly. Alright, Monster Mangrove, I've discussed that a lot. I feel like there's a pretty good idea of what that is. hybrid islands. So that takes the corresponding natural, ethereal, and seasonal elements, such as plant, plasma, and spooktical. And another example would be cold, yay, and shadow. Or maybe it's festive. I don't know. Whatever Yule's element is. But it's essentially just there's gonna be 5 of them unless an ethereal comes out for the fire islands. So that's what that series is. And it also has the ethereal elements. What would happen for fire? Hello. But for fire, I sort of just plan to ignore it unless an ethereal comes out. Um but anyway, when it comes to the rest of the monsters that are on the island, oh, okay. I have class in 5 minutes. Um, my throat is getting angry because I'm talking a lot. Um, I need to speed this up. Um, but for example, on the plasma, plant, and spectacle island, the ethereals that have plasma in their combination will be there. Same thing for the frostbite, where the ones with shadow, and then steampunk with mech. Um, those ones are like sort of teleport monsters. Um, and then you can, to be fair, the single elements are also teleport monsters, and you're able to breed the single elements together to get the hybrid monsters. Um, and then there's the Firelands, more on that next year. I'm actually so excited for Firelands. That's quite possibly going to be my favorite series. I have pretty much all the monster concepts ready. I have one of the island designs ready, which is Royal Island. Um, I have the Royal Island song ready. Just a few more visual things I need to do. Um, Alright, and finally, the last thing I'm going to talk about is the scientific islands, or the last thing I'm going to talk about in depth is the scientific islands. Um, and that is like micro island, and that's just islands that have 2 natural elements, or fire element, um, a magical element, and then a scientific element, and they're each based on parts of science. Like micro island was based on biology, for example. Um, and I'll give a little hint about the next one. The next one is related to mental health, um, and uh, just like the parts of science that to um, relate to that. And also, I didn't write this one down, but the Fun Islands, that's just a very short series. It was planned to be longer, but I lost motivation for it. And the third island, which was Metro Island, was planned to be scrapped, but people were like, hey, this sounds pretty good, you should not scrap it, so I didn't. I revived it, essentially. Um, but that's Beach Island, Circus Island, and Metro Island. It's just random monsters, honestly. There's no pattern. That's what seasonal islands were too. Just monsters I thought would fit the song. Um, but when it comes to planned series, there's Hybrid Islands, Monster Mangrove, uh, the Firelands. I think I think that's it when it comes to what's planned, like what's gonna have specific release dates. And then stuff that'll be on the side, just releasing whenever, is Artificial Magical Island Revamped. That's a mouthful. Scientific Islands. And I think that's it. I might be forgetting one somewhere in there, but that's kind of it for what I have planned for my channel when it comes to my Singing Monster stuff. But anyway, I need to go to class now, so thank you for joining. Sorry for bad lighting. Hopefully this answered any questions. If you have any more questions that weren't addressed here, or then just like say in the comments or on my latest community post, and I will write it down to answer sometime. Alrighty, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it, and I hope to see you again in the future. Goodbye!